I want to see you compete. God damn it. Alright guys, I wanted to talk to you about something serious. Yeah, serious talk. Okay, so you guys know, like, it's been a meme, Beastie back to pro gamer, when are you gonna back to pro gaming, why don't you compete, why don't you just enter a tournament, just enter WCS, and this is something that many people have asked and many people are still asking pretty much on a daily basis. And I wanted to address that. This will be a little bit of a mini story and then kind of explain my reasons behind it and some of my realizations that I've had recently. I've been competitive, extremely competitive my whole life, right? Extremely competitive. Growing up, I started gaming when I was 3, and my dad was always teasing me like that. He did it jokingly, but this is literally what shaped me to be competitive as a person. So he would always tease me, like I would win a game or whatever, and he would be like, "Oh, you didn't finish it or faster or something." Like, he never had any ill intent, but he was always teasing me about it. And growing up, I always wanted to do better, I guess to impress my dad. And I always wanted to do better, and I always wanted to be better. And I was just always competitive, whether it was sports, whether it was gaming. I wanted to be the best. When I was like 8-9-year-old, I would be playing RTS games that my dad played just for the sole purpose of beating him in those games. I enjoyed the games, but not as much. I just wanted to beat him, and once I beat him, I stopped playing them. Like, I just grew to be a very competitive person, and that's who I am. I still am a competitive person. Why am I talking about this? Well, in StarCraft II, I've been competitive for 7 years as a pro gamer, and it kind of extended what I already was and took it to the next level, because now I was competitive for a living. I was traveling, I was on teams, and it was great. I loved it. I loved it, especially first 3-4 years of StarCraft. I was sleeping, waking up with StarCraft, going to bed thinking about StarCraft, playing StarCraft all day, and I loved it because it's kind of like what I was, and now I get to do it for a living, and I get to play games for a living, right? I think in order to be a competitive person and to play tournaments, to compete in tournaments, you need to love it and you need to want it. I think that doesn't matter if you're doing gaming or sports. If you want to be number one, you need to want it. Like, you need to be like, I want to be the best, or I am the best. If you're just kind of you're not gonna do anything. I had moments in my StarCraft II career where that kind of dipped down, and then I kind of got back up and kept practicing, kept competing, and so on and so forth. But I always got out of it. Once I started doing YouTube was kind of the point where I was talking about Marika about this. I was like, oh, maybe I should make a YouTube channel, jokingly. And she actually pushed me into doing YouTube. I wasn't going to go through with it, but she pushed me into this. She was like, just try it, just give it a go, and so on. So I did, and here we are. Now I'm streaming and I'm doing YouTube. When I got that idea to do YouTube, was the reason for that is because I didn't enjoy being competitive anymore. I still was, and I still am, but I didn't enjoy it anymore. The losses when you're competitive always hurt, and they always suck, right? Like, you don't want to practice something for extremely long time and then not end up losing, right? No one wants that. But I started taking the losses harder and harder, and that affected my practice and my skill and just my mentality overall. But just before that, I gave it one last push, like one last, I'm gonna try hard because I was struggling with that for like 2 years, I would say 2015, 16. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it one last push, I'm gonna go no life and see what I can do. And I told Marika this, and she was fully supportive, and this is when I was practicing a lot. I was practicing insane amounts. I shifted my mentality to, I want to be better, I want to improve, no whining, just practice, practice, practice. And I got to 6,850 MMR, which was my peak MMR, but back then rank 1 was 7,000. That was when Cyril hit 7,000 for the first time. So I was like rank 3, 4 GM on ladder. People actually didn't know it was my account, because I was practicing with that barcode for so long that people didn't expect me to be that good. People thought I'm like 6.2K or something. So that's when I went to WSG in Europe, and I got 3rd place And then I went to China World Championship WSG kind of thing, and I missed one map to advance from the groups to be top 8. After getting the 3rd place in the European WSG, and after going to China, I kind of felt very relieved. I was like, I gave it my all, right? Because I felt like that was the first time where I actually gave it my all. I gave it a real shot to compete, like full on, not just half-assed. That was my first event since I went, you know, super sane mode. And I got 3rd. And I beat a lot of good players, like a lot of top players. And I was satisfied with the result, but at the same time, like I said, I was very just kind of, I felt like weight was lifted off my shoulders. I realized, if I kept practicing, could I do more? Like, could I have won the tournament? You know, could I have won the next tournament? And I realized maybe, because I saw that the competitive potential is there. It's always been there. I just didn't practice full on. Even with that, I just realized I'm done. Like, I realized that was my last event. Even though back then maybe I didn't say it out loud, I kind of realized I was done. And the reason for that is, with all the practice and work that went into it, yes, I got 3rd place, which is, you know, it's not bad. It's not first, but I realized I sacrificed so much of my life. I asked myself, is it really worth it in the end for me? Because back when I was 18, 19, 20, it was worth it. You're a kid. You know, that's why kids in general do well in games, because they don't have a life, right? They don't have a social life, let's be honest. And social media is not social life. You know, they don't have boyfriends, girlfriends, or at least serious relationships. They don't have real problems, and they can put all their mind into games. And that's what I did for that period of 6 months before I decided to do YouTube. You know, as I grow older, I was, I think 26 at the time, you know, I started realizing, like, how long can I do this? I gotta be realistic. I kind of decided that that's it for me. I decided that the time investment, sacrificing, you know, my relationship time and social circles and family and everything else was just not worth it. I regret it that I didn't do it earlier. I regret it when in Wings I did practice a lot, but I didn't give it my all, and I regret that. But I can't go back and you know turn the time. If I was younger, I would have done it, but again, time in life and age kind of affects that quite a bit. That's when I was playing around with the idea of doing YouTube. You know, I told Marika, and she was like, do it. And I was like, nah, no one's gonna watch it. Like, people are not gonna care. I was never, you know, winning LAN tournaments. She was like, yeah, but you won, you know, a bunch of online things. I'm like, yeah, no one cares for that. No one's gonna respect it. Like, why would people watch my YouTube channel, right? Like, what am I gonna do? And she was like, just try it. Just try it. Just upload once a month and just see how it is. And if you don't like it, then quit in 6 months. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I did that. So I might be a little bit distracted because I'm playing the game, so I'm sorry about that. I'll try my best. So I started it, and you know, I got into learning YouTube. I'm not gonna bother you too much with info. I spent a lot of time on YouTube learning more and more, and I realized I started becoming much happier as a person and much more relaxed. My personality started to change. And the reason why I started to change is because I wasn't really stressed anymore from the games. I wasn't really stressed anymore from competing. I wasn't being like, oh my god, I'm practicing this whole time, what if I lose the next tournament? That didn't exist anymore. And it became more of a safe thing. Like, it became more of a job with no risks as the time passed, as my YouTube has done better and better. And I still have that competitive in me, and I still like to compete, and every once in a while, you guys know, I would participate in WCS event, I would participate in, you know, Turbo 2 tournament, Archon tournament, and I love it. I still love competing. But I don't want to compete full time. And as I did more and more YouTube, as more and more time passed, here we are now. I am very satisfied where I am right now. I stream whatever I want. I don't have a team to tell me what to do or how to, like, behave, what to say. I don't have to, like, respond to a team. You know, I'm on my own. I can pick what I want to do on stream. I don't have to try hard, practice. I can, you know, do 2v2s. I can do whatever, right? And there's no pressure, right? When I do series, whatever the series is, I don't have the pressure of, oh my god, if I'm doing whatever to GM, what if I don't get GM? I mean, hey, I tried. That's it. Because at the end of the day, that's stream time, that's content for people on YouTube, for you guys on Twitch, and it still works out, right? There's no risk of failing based on my performance. And I became much more relaxed. You know, majority of you guys won't know this, but I used to be much more edgier of a person, much more serious of a person. I would never like joke or meme because it would be like, what do people will think of me? I'm a pro player, you know, I was dumbass, right? So my personality changed, again, not just in streaming, but in life, and I've enjoyed it much more since. And I kind of started hating, not necessarily being competitive, but I started hating competing itself, right? I'm still competitive, right? If I go out and I play against my friends, I'll want to win, right? Or even when I do a series, like, hell yeah, I want to win, of course. I'm not playing to lose. But I realized that if I lose, it doesn't matter. And the losses don't affect me anymore as much because they're not the priority. My skill is not priority anymore in StarCraft. It's something else, right? So, sorry, I'm trying to play the game and it's starting very hard to keep talking, keep up with what I'm trying to say. So recently, I played, you know, WCS event here and there, and even though, and I always say this, the chance of me qualifying for WCS with random while playing like 3 hours a day, 4 hours, 5 hours a day, when everyone else is practicing for like 12 hours with one race, I always knew that my chances to qualify for WCS are extremely low. Like, I would have to get lucky in games. Not because I'm a, you know, bad gamer and I can't do it. I've been in WCS many times before, whether it was online qualifiers or live. It's just that the realistic situation is I am playing random while everyone else is grinding one race. So I was fully aware of this when I played those WCS qualifiers. But it still affected me so much because I realized playing these official events and losing bothered me. Even though I was fully aware I'm not going to qualify, or at least the chances of me qualifying are very low, it still bothered me. And I realized that it's just a competitive side of me. Like, oh, what are people going to think? Oh, I'm used to something more. I'm used to being better. I'm not supposed to lose against this player. And, you know, it kind of sucks feeling that way, because on one side I know that it doesn't matter, but on the other side it's just who I am, and it still affected me. So every WCS qualifiers I did for the past year or two, that was pretty much the only tournament I did, right? But each one I did, I felt terrible after, like genuinely terrible. And again, I wasn't like fooling myself like I don't care. I honestly did not care I didn't qualify, but it just bothered me so much that I was losing them. And every time I would, I would play WCS qualifier and I lose, you guys know I would always go offline because I was like, what's the point of playing now? I lost. What is there left to play? And I would always start well. I would always start like, oh, it doesn't matter, whatever. I'll just play. I know I'm going to lose. It's fine. It doesn't matter. If I win or lose, who cares? And it would always affect me in the end in a very, very bad way as far as mental state goes. And this kind of completely made sense recently when I played against Rainer in a show match. So I played against Rainer in a show match, and again, realistically, he's like 7.2k player, right? And doesn't matter what his off races are, mechanically, he is on another level, right? I mean, he won the last WCS against Cyril, right? If I remember correctly. So realistically, I knew it's going to be extremely hard, and in order for me to win a game. Why are they not pushing? What are they doing? So I played, and as the games were going, it wasn't looking good. I was losing, yada yada. And after I finished that show match, I kind of realized I am actually done with competing in StarCraft II 100%. And I don't mean professional. I'm done with being a pro player a long time ago. I just mean competing. I don't have any desire. I don't want to participate in any WCS qualifiers anymore. I don't want to do any competitive thing that forces that negativity in me, because I don't like it. The payout of winning versus losing is not worth for me at all. And again, it affects me bad, and I just don't want to do that anymore. I'll still try, you know, when I play series or whatever, I'll try my best to win, and I'll try hard in those. That's gonna be my competitiveness that I will be doing. That's serious, but not really, right? It's just serious for YouTube or for stream or for whatever. Let me crunch this guy real quick. So, yeah, I like I said earlier, I don't have the time to be a competitive person, and if I don't have the time or the will to be a competitive person, I don't want to like bring myself down and you guys down every time I compete and I lose, and then I'm like, you know, cutting the stream short because I lost or whatever. So that's what I wanted to talk about, because there are always people asking like, oh, why don't you compete? Just try, just give it a go. Guys, I'm playing random while these guys are practicing for hours and hours and hours every day. And there's a difference between practicing and playing. What I'm doing, even if I play the same amount of hours as them, which I don't, I play like 1/3, I am playing the game, they're practicing the game. When they go into the game and lose, they are like, okay, why did I lose? What can I do better? When I do sentries to GM, I mean, I'm not improving. My force fielding is improving, but what about all the other things? I'm not focusing on that. And it's silly to try and compete with those players, even if just for fun, because just the way I am doesn't see that as fun. I always found funny when people play games and they say, it doesn't matter if we win or lose, we play for fun. For me, that statement was always funny, because my fun is winning. I don't have fun participating. I want to win. Doesn't matter if I'm playing Minecraft, if I'm playing Minesweeper or StarCraft, I want to win. It's just who I am, and I can't change it. I try to change it a couple of times, because, you know, there were times where I didn't want to be competitive. I wanted to be like, oh, let's play, and if we win, we'll win, we lose, we lose. Obviously, if I'm playing, you know, 2v2s with Mareka, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, we lost, and I'm going to be tilted. You know, you lose and win, right? But I want to win. And I'm going on a rant because I was trying to play and talk at the same time, but the main point is, I'm competitive. I just don't enjoy competing in StarCraft II anymore. Don't have time for it. I'm not practicing enough, and playing just for fun is not fun for me, and it affects me negatively. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I'm saying right now, I am 100% sure not returning to pro gaming in StarCraft II, probably ever. Will I participate in maybe show matches where I play random against another random player, or just a fun show match? Sure, that might happen. I will not be competing or trying to qualify for WCS at all. I will not play online tournaments. I will be probably participating in like events like Twitch Rivals or 2v2 tournaments or Arkham tournaments, because those are, you know, completely different, even though they're in StarCraft 2. I'm done with one-on-one StarCraft competitive. I don't have any desire. I actually thought when I started YouTube, I was like, okay, let's do this. Maybe I'll get back into pro gaming. I just went farther from it. I have no desire. And like I said, some people will know how good I was back in the day when I was practicing. In HOTS, it kind of fell off. In Legacy, in the beginning, I practiced a lot. And then at the end of the day, I should be playing for me and not for others. As far as I go, like I said, I have some regrets of not practicing more in Wings and HOTS specifically. At the end of my pro gaming career, I gave it all. I got that 3rd place at a live tournament. I guess that was to prove something to myself, because maybe it was because I always had regret to not go hardcore in Wings So this was just to prove to myself that I can be a top 3, you know, live tournament player. Yeah, that's it. Now, in the future, I don't know what will happen as far as other games go. I might compete in, you know, Herpa Derp 4 RTS game. I might become a competitive player in Warcraft 3 Reforged when it comes out. I might become competitive in any game. But for StarCraft 2, I'm done. Again, do not be worried. I'll still be playing StarCraft 2. I'll still be streaming, doing series. I'll still be in GM. I'm not going to drop off to Diamond. I just wanted to talk about competitive point of view. Nakamura's asking, do you care about casting at all? So this is another question that's good to address. People have asked me, would you like to cast the WCS event? Would you go? Honestly, I don't have the... I don't know what to call it. You need to have a certain of, oh wow, I wonder what's gonna happen. And when I watch games, I know 90% of the time what's gonna happen based on the economy, based on the builds, based on how the game's playing out.
My boy,
So I would have hard time fake hyping those kinds of things. Like, oh wow, can he come back? It's like, no bitch, he's 20 drones down. Of course he cannot come back. He's fucking dead, right? So I don't think I would be a good caster as far as that goes, because it just doesn't fit who I am. Would I do like game analysis? Sure, but those are kind of not a thing at WCS events anymore. I mean, I don't mind doing a less serious thing, like an online thing, where you can just say how it is, like, oh, that guy's dead, right? Like, I'm not going to be like, okay, this game's over, guys, bye. You know, I'll joke, I'll say that the player is extremely far behind, but I'm not going to be like, oh wow, can Cyril come back from this deficit? If anyone can do it, it's Cyril. It's like, no, he's 30 drones behind against Rogue. Like, he's not coming back, guys. Like, that is pretty much it. That is pretty much it. I wanted to address this because, yeah, you know, I'm memeing with, you know, Beastie Back Pro Gamer. Of course, that was obviously a joke if anyone missed it. But I wanted to address this because I still see a lot of comments of, oh, you should just enter, just go to a tournament, just enter a tournament. It'd be great. I see you beat guys on ladder all the time. You beat this guy on the ladder. You beat this guy. This guy got 4th place. Playing ladder and playing tournaments is completely 2 different things. Just because I beat a player that's 6.8k in the ladder does not mean I would beat him in a best of 3 at a tournament, considering I also play random. If I truly wanted to go back to pro gaming, I would have to quit YouTubing and streaming. And I have been building up my stream and my YouTube for so long, for the past 2 and something years now, that I don't really giving it up for something that's not safe or secure and takes all my time, and it's something I really don't want to do. That's it. I hope you guys can understand it. I hope now I gave like a little bit of a clearer picture of why I'm not competing, why I don't want to compete, and why I don't want to go to live tournaments. Another thing people have asked me, why don't you just go to live tournament for fun? Look, this is the realistic situation, right? I'm gonna go to a live tournament, spend $500 to $1,000, play in a tournament, lose because I don't practice as much as these guys. And before someone says it, this is not like, oh, I'm not good, guys, I'm a bad player. No, this is, I've been pro player for 7 years. I know what it takes to win in those tournaments, right? If you don't practice as much as they do, you're not gonna beat them in a tournament setting. I would, if I go to a live tournament, I would, you know, not be streaming at all. I would not be doing YouTube videos. I would not be doing content, and it's just not worth it to just go to a live tournament just cause, right? I do go in Serbia whenever there's an event. I go and hang out because it's usually like a day, but traveling abroad doesn't really make a lot of sense for me. But yeah, I don't have no desire to be a pro, no semi-pro, kind of done. I still am competitive, so I would like to try and be a pro player again in another game. But the question is, you know, will there be another game as StarCraft that kind of sucked me in and I gave it almost my all? That I don't know, but if it does happen, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm very happy where I am right now. You know, I got my stream, I got way more free time. I got an editor a couple of months ago because I was doing like 14-hour days for almost 2 years of editing, streaming, doing everything behind the stream related. It was too much, and now I'm in a position where I really enjoy it, creating content and different things for you guys, whether it's series, guys, or whatever else, and I just don't want to lose that or you know, give that up for something that I've been through. If there's still some of you after all of this that are like, I want to see you compete. God damn it. Well, you can always go on YouTube and you can just search Beastie Cutie versus whatever pro player top there is right now, and you'll probably find VODs from when I was pro player and watch some of those. For you guys on YouTube, thank you for watching. I hope you, you know, see kind of my point of view. If you got anything to add, anything to say, anything to comment, feel free to do so. For you guys on Twitch, let's keep going.